Alright everybody, Northwest Precision, and I said I would bring it to you guys, and I received it today, the Dandy Trickler. Let me see if I can get this to focus for me, maybe. Sorry about that. Okay, there it is. So, this is from an older gentleman online, and he hand makes these one at a time, I guess, and ships them out if you're on a waiting list or whatnot. I just so happened to email him a little while ago, and actually he emailed me back and said, hey, I have a few of these that are going to be ready to ship here soon, so they're on the website if you want to order one, and I did. So the reason why I got this, I know that the RCBS chargemaster 1500 does trickle at the end of the charge throw, but there are a few videos online that I seen some guys do that they were using a Sartorius scale, which is quite a bit more money than one of these chargemasters, but it doesn't auto throw. It's just basically like a medical grade scale that will do grains. So a guy did a comparison, basically letting the chargemaster do its thing, and then he weighed 5 charges, and then he trickled up to the charge weight that he wanted by using the Dandy Trickler. So by doing that, he actually cut down the amount of overthrows, because you can't really overthrow when you trickle up to your desired charge weight. But basically it was the deviation between the weights that were thrown by the chargemaster. So it like literally cut it in half, which was pretty amazing. The resolution on his scale was pretty high, and the chargemaster, when you trickled up to the charge weight that you wanted, actually did really well. So I was pretty stoked about that, and I bought one of these. They were like $100, which, I mean, some people might think that's a lot, but to get higher resolution basically out of this scale and a more accurate charge weight, rather than spending like $800, $900, $1,000 on some of these scales, I mean, obviously they're going to do a little better than what I've got here, but for what I'm doing, it's totally going to work great. And I've even noticed just by using a Redding Trickler, I think I've got that here somewhere. Yeah. By using this, before I got my Dandy Trickler, I actually noticed a lot of tighter groups and less vertical in my longer range shots. So everything seemed to tighten up, so pretty excited about this. But basically, let me see if I can zoom in on this and show you guys what we're working with here. So let me do a charge. Let this run. I've done the straw mod in there, which actually helps quite a bit if you guys don't have a trickler to do this with. So the straw mod works pretty good. If you're on Sniper's Hide, there's a gentleman on there as well that makes an insert on a lathe. I think it is a small lathe, and it reduces the diameter of that tube that's coming out of the chargemaster quite a bit and helps with your overthrows. So anyway, on the Dandy Trickler, there's a red button, yellow button. Yellow is low speed, red is high speed. And you can see I've got Varget in here right now. Let's see if we can drop one kernel at a time. There you go. And just barely getting them out of there. So you can see you really have a lot of control. You can do the low speed, get one at a time, or you can kind of do the high and get just a little bit faster. You see them coming out there. Let me see if I can get a little closer for you guys so you can kind of see this a little better. I don't know how well this is going to focus this close, but there we go. It's a little better. Beautiful. Okay, so here we go. You can see one little piece of agate at a time. And you can probably hear me hitting the button in the background as well. You can get those little guys coming out, but yeah, you can use the fast speed and just get them really cooking out of there. I know this seems kind of ridiculous slow, but really I've noticed on this scale that if I trickle up to the charge weight that I want, I can actually overthrow it if I go one kernel sometimes, because these kernels aren't perfectly uniform. So if I get a little bigger kernel than the others, it'll actually jump it to the next tenth of a grain if I'm not careful. And I have a pair of tweezers that are on my bench here, and I'll pull out a small piece of powder if I have to drop it back down. Now I'm going to back off here and show you the actual scale and show you how I trickle up to that charge weight that I was talking about using the Trickler. Sorry about my camera work, guys. This thing is a little touchy. Okay, I'm gonna pull this off. I set it for 40 grains of powder, so I think it was. Oh, must be 44. So what I do is I actually go a tenth of a grain lower than what I'm actually targeting. So there it is, 44. Now I'll just start to trickle up on this and drop one granule at a time. There's another one. There's another one, and there we go. 44.1. So now that it went over, let's go to the next tenth and see what it does. So we got one granule there. Another granule there. It was a little smaller one. And another granule there. And boom, 44.2. So about 3 granules of powder is about a tenth of a grain on this scale. And the second one that dropped to get it to the 44.2, and you can see it kind of teetering on the edge there. I'll still go ahead and charge that case with that because it's really on the edge. If I really want to get anal, I can try to drop one more and it'll usually make it more solid and stay there. But it's actually really awesome. Like I said, I've noticed, you can see it staying there now. I've noticed that the vertical on my shot strings are a lot less by doing this. So I haven't chronoed them yet to see what my standard deviation has gone down to. To some guys that might not mean a lot, but I'm anal, and yeah, so I try to get the best that I can out of the equipment that I have. But if you're looking at getting one of these, I know the wait time can be long. You can get by with that Redding powder trickler that I showed you earlier, and it'll get you by. You just got to kind of come up with a creative way to set it up. So looking forward to getting some more use out of this, and I think it's going to work out great. So got a match coming here in a few weeks. Going to go to and see what happens. There's a little bit of wind in here. Like, there's little drafts here and there in our room, and I can tell sometimes when it hits the scale because that's been solid for a while, and then all of a sudden it'll move. So another thing to be conscious of. One more thing, if you do get this Trickler, and I'll kind of like show you guys a little better on the Trickler what it actually is here. So that's pretty much it right there. If you're gonna get one of these, I noticed right off the bat when I was messing around with it and stuff, there's a lot of static on it. So what you can do is, my wife, being as awesome as she is, she saves the dryer sheets, the old ones that we have, and I use these in the tumbler with my media, and I also use it to wipe down all my charging equipment and things like that. So that can affect it, but I noticed after I wiped it all down and did that with it that the powder flowed quite a bit better, just because there's no static. So yeah, anyway, if you guys are looking at getting one of these after you see this video, great. Hopefully it helps somebody out there get a little better charges out of their chargemaster and help you shoot a little bit better. Have a good one, guys, and as I promised, I will still do that review on the Razor HD spotting scope and tripod. I just haven't had a whole lot of time, and this one is pretty easy to do because it's inside, so figured I'd do this real quick, and then hopefully sometime here soon I will get that other review out to you guys so you can see it and possibly make a purchase of your own with hunting season coming up. It's right around the corner pretty much. So yeah, you guys have a good one, and we'll see you next time.